Welcome everyone. We're on to our next session on details and rotations, how to host and search for these on USAJOBS Open Opportunities. So we started off this morning and we went through all these different types of opportunities that are available for folks. And I briefly introduced details and rotations, and now we're going to go into this in a little bit more depth. So as always, unless otherwise noted, no statement during today's workshop should be construed as an official position of any federal agency. So we're going to go into some more information about details and rotations. Then Keenan is going to take it over and talk about using open opportunities, how to use it, how to host things there and find opportunities. And then Tracy's going to come in and provide a case example of how she's used it to form an opportunity for her program. So just launching into details and rotations. So for those of you who are here on the first session today, you know that details and rotations are temporary transfers to a different position. An employee that goes on a detail or rotation is expected to return to their home position at the end of the assignment. If it's a federal employee going on the detail or rotation, their career or career conditional federal employees, they meet the requirements for expertise, they receive supervisory approval, and they receive acceptance by the host program. The schedule varies. Some of them are part-time, others are full-time. And we've talked about reimbursable nature of the programs that we just spoke of in the last session. Some are reimbursable, some are not reimbursable. And so reimbursable would mean that the participant's home agency is reimbursed for the participant. Non-reimbursable means the home agency continues to pay for the salary of the participant that is going on the detail or rotation. So what are details? The detailee works in a different position. There are more longer term details and there are also micro details. The longer term details are usually full term, although they're occasionally part-time. The micro details are part-time. The regular details are commonly 6 months or 3 months or a year or 2 years. The salary for a detail is often reimbursable, but occasionally they're non-reimbursable. Micro details are for a very short period of time, a few hours to perhaps 20% of time over several months. The salary for the micro details are usually not reimbursable, although occasionally they are reimbursable. We talked a little bit about the goals of details and rotations in the first session. So the primary goal of a detail is to fill a temporary unmet need for the host program office by performing a particular function or task. Usually the detailee is providing needed expertise. The secondary goal is to develop the detailee. The focus on development is often to increase the participant's exposure and understanding of other programs, agencies, and departments. Often the skill development is directly linked to the participant's usual duties, experience, and background. It increases collaboration across programs, agencies, and departments. An example is if someone is out from the host agency, they're on leave for a while, and someone else is detailed in while the regular employee is away, when a certain skill is needed in that agency or program. The salary is either paid for by the home or host agency. There's no change in salary during the detail. The grade level can vary, could be at the same lower or higher grade level. The duration depends on the agency's policies. And sometimes there is a requirement for an official EOPF personnel action documentation when a detail occurs, but you have to check the agency policy on this. Rotations, in contrast, the primary goal is for training and career development of the person who's rotating in. An example is what we just talked about with the PMC program. So the PMC program is an interagency rotation where the primary goal is training and career development. So to develop the participant either within or outside of their current areas of expertise, to prepare the participant to be able to fill future agency needs, such as technical, leadership, other types of skills, and increase the participant's exposure to and understanding of other programs, agencies, etc. The secondary goal is to fulfill temporarily fulfill a need for the host agency by performing a certain function or task or project. The goal is additionally to increase collaboration and connection across programs, agencies, and departments. So some of the benefits of details and rotations are new skills. The participant learns new skills, gets hands-on experience, is able to try out another job and decide if it's a good fit. The home agency team learns new skills by covering responsibilities for the participant that's out on a detail on a rotation. The host agency team learns new skills and approaches from the participant themselves. There's a broader understanding of agency and program mission, goals, culture, management style, leadership style, etc. The participant learns about the host program and agency. The host colleagues learn from the participant about their home agency and programs. There are general benefits that are shared by the participant and the home and the host agencies, and these include networking, new connections, sharing of knowledge, breaking down silos, and potentially increasing diversity and new perspectives as well. So now I'm going to hand it over to Keenan. So Keenan Emmitt is a management analyst and engagement specialist at OPM. He works as a project manager for Open Opportunities, and he's going to tell you more about that. So I'll hand it over to Keenan now. Thank you so much, Keenan.
Yeah, thanks, Kim. Appreciate you having me today. So we're just going to start things off with a quick poll. Just want to kind of get a consensus of whether or not folks have heard of Open Opportunities. So just if you could answer this question, yes or no, real quick. Have you ever heard of USAJOBS Open Opportunities before today? All right, it's looking pretty even. A little bit more on the no. Looks like we do have some folks responding via chat as well, so that's great. Awesome. So it looks like it's pretty even. 57% were no and 43% were yes. So for those of you who have heard of Open Opportunities, that's great. Hopefully we can provide you with some more information and insights today. And for those of you who haven't, that's great. Glad to share the platform and the program with you today. If you could go to the next slide, Kim. So as I mentioned today, I want to provide you with a very brief and kind of high-level introduction of Open Opportunities. And for those of you, the 43%, I believe it was, who aren't familiar, Open Opportunities is a platform where any federal employee can post an opportunity or assignment, as we call them, and any federal employee with the skills, interest, and as long as they have their supervisor's approval, they can then take on that experiential learning assignment. And so Open Opportunities provides a mechanism for internal employee mobility, again, by allowing those feds to post and to find those experiential learning opportunities. It provides federal employees for a way to jump into projects that are either one-time or short-term or for longer periods, such as details and rotations, which I'll get into a bit more. And these opportunities allow federal employees to explore other areas of business, to build new relationships and to network, to learn new skills, and to maybe use some of the skills that they already have, but that they're not quite required to use in their day-to-day job. And so this really benefits the employee, obviously, but it drastically benefits the organization, who not only is investing in an employee, but who will be more engaged and be better trained through these new experiences. And that organization also has that access to that same talent pool of feds who can really provide the new skills and the new ways of thinking that might not be present within their organization. So when did the program start? The program actually started as a proof of concept with GSA in 2013. However, the program has since moved to where it currently is at OPM within the USAJOBS team, and that was in 2017. And since that time, over these past 3 to 4 years, it's gone through a major refactor and scaling initiative. And so really the platform was created out of a desire and a need to provide professional development and growth for federal employees, to provide them with the opportunities for that. And really, we wanted to be able to provide federal employees with the opportunity to better connect and to enable the federal government to operate in a more collaborative and agile fashion. So what is the mission of Open Opportunities? So if you think about it, gone are the days of where employees tend to take a single job and expect to do a lot of that same work and the same thing throughout their entire career. That just tends not to be the case anymore. Employees are really looking for opportunities to grow and to develop and to avoid stagnation, which ultimately leads to boredom, disengagement, and an overall lack in productivity. And so maybe we've all heard the saying, adapt or die, and maybe adapt or become irrelevant is more fitting. And that's why our overarching mission is to strengthen and engage the federal workforce and federal organizations by providing continuous learning and development opportunities. So we really, again, going back to that agile and collaborative platform we really want to become. And so really government organizations really need to start embracing employee development and reskilling in new and novel ways in order to stay competitive, because acquiring that talent from outside by hiring from outside is not always feasible. So really the new reality is that our ability to succeed in our missions is dependent upon our ability to develop and leverage a lot of the talent that we already have within the federal government. So the big question is, how do we do that? And that is why Open Opportunities was created. And since that time, dozens of agencies have participated. Thousands of federal employees have both created and participated in opportunities. And 9 agency communities and communities of practice have been stood up on the platform. And
Keenan, we had a question from the audience about, can all agencies participate in Open Opportunities?
Yep, so Open Opportunities is open to all federal employees and all agencies. And as at the bottom of the slide, you can see no cost to use at all as well. So open to every agency and every federal employee. And we will have the privilege of hearing again from Tracy, who will be presenting on NOAA's community later in the presentation. So looking forward to that. And so some of the benefits of Open Opportunities, as you can see here, allows employees to explore other areas of business, to build those new relationships, and to learn those new skills that aren't required in their day-to-day job. And it also, again, helps leaders connect their employees to those experiential learning opportunities, as well as innovative work on a part-time basis, or can be full-time. And really, again, allows agencies to reach their mission and to network and collaborate and work together and more efficiently across the federal government.
And Keenan, one clarifying question, is it all federal agencies or only executive branch that can participate?
All federal agencies can participate. Great question. And Kim, if you wouldn't mind, go to the next slide. So how long are the experiential learning assignments on Open Opportunities? Well, they can range from anywhere from as little to as an hour or even less to a full-time detail. In fact, there are 3 types of listings on the platform, and I'll be doing a demo here in just a moment, and we'll really kind of dive into a little bit more of what those are. But just generally speaking, a one-time opportunity is really a one-time task with a defined timeline. And so this could be someone coming to write an article, to create a graphic design, or maybe a video to help promote your organization or program, or anything that really is just generally a one-time event that doesn't take more than a few hours. The next type of opportunities that we have are recurring opportunities, which are ongoing tasks or projects that are up to 20% of an employee's time. And so this might be an assignment that is, an example would be an agency that really needs to bring in some help to maybe develop a website or to do some statistical analysis of program data or metrics. And this would be longer than the one time, but not quite a detail. And so this could be anything from a few hours a week to 20% time over the course of a few months. And then finally, we have details and rotations, which a lot of you are probably already familiar with, and Kim went over. And those can be full-time or part-time, as well as reimbursable or non-reimbursable. And Open Opportunities is open to all skill types. I mentioned a couple of examples for one-time and recurring, but you can be as creative as you want with these. We see things that we would have never imagined on the platform, with people utilizing it in different ways and creating different opportunities and garnering the help that they need and providing great development opportunities. And so again, it's open to all federal employees and it's open to all GS levels. All right, next slide, if you don't mind, Kim.
I think there's a delay, Keenan, and when I move the slide, sorry. It's
No problem.
some time, thanks.
Great, I'll monitor. Any other questions in the chat? Where can we find currently available open opportunities? So I will get into that again with the demo here just shortly. Good question. Oh, and then I do see another question. Who pays while you're in the opportunity, the home agency? So again, that depends on if that's a detail. Usually the one-time or the recurrent opportunities, since you're not leaving your agency, there's no cost involved. However, for details, again, that can be selected. I'll show you in the process. And that can be decided upon between which agency would pay that, the receiving agency or the agency that's lending that talent or help. So now I'm going to take a little bit of time to run through a high-level demo of the Open Opportunities platform. So these will answer a lot of the questions that we're seeing. Specifically, the two main ways you can jump in to start utilizing the platform right now. And those are creating opportunities or assignments to really find the help you need across the federal government, find federal employees to participate in your opportunities. To help you accomplish your mission, and then also how to apply to opportunities for those of you who are looking to participate or jump into an opportunity. So again,
I'm going to stop sharing so you can open up your screen.
Okay, perfect. And Kim, actually, if you want to, it will take me just a second to log in. It logs me out after 5 minutes. So if you are able to put up the information slide,
okay,
with my information in the open opportunities slide while I pull this up. That way folks can jot this information down or screenshot it if they need to while I get logged in.
Fantastic. I somehow lost the control button. Gabby, I may need your help. I somehow don't have the control anymore.
And I will be on in just a sec. I'll spare you I don't really want to share my screen while I'm putting my password information in, but
for some reason, Gabby, if you're there, I don't have the Zoom control bar anymore. Let's see here if I can.
Are you saying at the bottom of your screen?
Oh, now I have it. Now
okay.
I have it. So Keenan, do you want me to open it up or are you almost ready?
I'm logging in right now. It's loading. But if you want to, I'll still chat a bit. So if you want to put that up, or I can put it up after this.
Okay.
So. Perfect. Yeah. So this is information that after this presentation, if you have any further questions, want to get set up on the platform and need more information. Again, like I said, this will be a high-level overview. So if there are further questions, there's some contact information there you can utilize.
And this is specifically for hosting an opportunity. There's another slide as well on searching for and applying for an opportunity. So the basics are included in these two slides, but now we're going to go into a demo, and we have about 15 minutes each for the two demos. So we have lots of times for questions and answers as we walk through it.
Yeah, definitely. Perfect. And Kim, if you see any questions along the way, feel free to let me know as I'm going through this. So
that the contact information isn't showing, that'll show up on the last slide.
Okay, we'll put that there. And I assume everyone can see my screen now?
Yeah.
Yep.
Looks great.
Perfect. So when you come to Open Opportunities, when you come to the website, this will be the main page that you will see. A couple quick things to point out before we sign in and show that information. On this landing page, there is our stories page right here. So if you're looking to kind of get a deeper understanding of how some real world examples of how some federal employees have used the platform. You can click on these stories and kind of run through our stories page. As you can see, NOAA's Lantern program is one of our most recent stories. So again, Tracy will be speaking to their program here shortly. But yeah, we have a number of stories and kind of novel and a diversity of how people have used the platform to really help themselves grow as federal employees and to help their organizations and agencies. So that's always a helpful tool. And then the other thing you'll see, and you don't need to sign in to access either of these, is our help section. And this is great if you are coming to the platform and really looking to understand how to create your profile, maybe find out a little bit more information about what this is. And it's broken out into various tabs, and it's all pretty straightforward information. So it's really helpful in helping you get started. So I am currently logged into our test environment. Since we're not in our production environment, it's easier to run our demos through this. So there is this banner here, ignore that. The platform generally looks pretty much identical to this. So once you are logged in, and I can answer questions about that later. I'm not going to go into the details of that just yet. But once you're logged into your platform, it's really easy to set your account up and get ready to roll. This is where you'll come. You'll come to your home screen. It'll have your name, and it'll have all of the information about on your dashboard is what we call this. And this has all the information about opportunities that you've applied to or participated in, opportunities that you've completed, as well as the opportunities that you've created. And again, keep in mind that this is the test environment. So these are all mocks right now that I have here. So from your dashboard, there's various things you can see, the opportunities you participated in. If you click on recommended opportunities, that will show you opportunities that are recommended to you based on our skills matching feature, which I'll touch on briefly. Saved searches, which will show opportunities that you have saved, and I'll show you how to do that as well as saved people. If you're looking to connect with other federal employees, you can also save those folks as well. So we'll start with the how to create opportunities. So from your dashboard, very simple, you can click on create opportunity, and that will take you to a page which I will show you more momentarily. I'm going to use a draft I already have in progress, but this will all look the same once you click on create opportunity.
And Keenan, just to pause there, in language that we've been talking about earlier, this is like hosting the opportunity for someone else. So bringing someone in and creating an opportunity for another person.
Exactly. So as an opportunity creator, you are exactly hosting that opportunity. You're hosting that assignment, whatever that is, the one time, the recurring, the detail, to bring in another federal employee or multiple employees to come and work on your project. And so once you click create opportunity, you'll be taken to this 4-step process, which really just kind of guides you and walks you through how to create those opportunities. And so in step 1, this is all about defining your opportunity, putting in the details, mostly logistical details. So without getting too much into the weeds on this, just for time's sake, we do have a number of communities that I mentioned, and Tracy will get into this more with her when she delves into her NOAA's Lantern community. But this is where you would select whether or not you would want to have your opportunity posted on a specific community page. Then you can click your panel here, which allows you to select the number of people you're looking for. So you can have one person or you can have multiple people. If you're looking for specific career fields, these are optional fields as well as occupational series. And then here's when you get into the time commitment. So again, a one-time task with a defined timeline, recurring. These are opportunities that might be multiple hours over a few months. So here you can really define that if you're looking for 2 to 4 hours for a couple months, 8 to 16, and then how often you need that. So it might be weekly, bi-weekly, monthly. And then you can also, if you want to limit it to your agency, you can do that. Mine says OPM because I'm an OPM employee, so I'm logged in here. But if you don't select this box, this will be open to all federal employees.
And Keenan, as far as the sign-on, when they sign in, there are some questions about that. I assume you sign up for USAJOBS and then link it to Open Opportunities. Is that how you sign in?
Yep, that's correct. So you will need a login.gov account if you don't already have that. But if you already have that and it's all set up through USAJOBS, then it's a real simple process. It's real simple otherwise too, but you will need to create that login.gov account because we do require a two-factor authentication just for privacy and security. And that can be done either you can have a text sent to your phone to provide you with that code, then to log in, or you could just use your PIV card as a federal employee. And I'll get into as well when we go into participating. You do have a profile. You can set up your profile on this, and you can link that to or integrate your USAJOBS information into your profile here. So it makes it real simple process to have a biography and skills. And then finally, you can select whether this is a virtual or in-person opportunity. And you can even select both if you needed that, if you would want the opportunity for folks to either do it virtually or in person. So again, this first step is mostly logistical. This next step is where you're going to really get to kind of the meat and potatoes of your opportunity, really the title and the description. And again, I've already pre-populated some of this information just to make this a lot quicker in our demo process. But here you'll put your title, your introduction, a little bit about what you're looking for, and then what you'll do. This will get into the details of what you're looking for, what type of individual you're looking to find, what type of work you're looking for them to have them do. And then also we like to include what you'll learn. As this is a professional development website or platform, rather, this provides the opportunity participant or the person searching for an opportunity information about what they're going to be getting out of the opportunity, kind of the what's in it for them. And then who we are, we always like to list that. It's an optional section, but it's really good to list, who you are and the type of organization or agency or office or team environment that these participants are going to be coming into, so they have an understanding of that.
Keenan, we had one question from the audience about who can actually post these opportunities. Are you just requiring a federal email address?
Yep,
Anyone?
That's correct. So anyone who has come on and created an account can post an opportunity or create an opportunity. There again, there's no GS level requirement. There's no supervisory requirement. You do have to have your supervisor's approval to participate, but you don't have to be a supervisor yourself.
You just need a federal email address.
Yep, that's exactly correct. So for example, I've posted a number of opportunities. I reach out to my supervisor, hey, our team's looking for help in this area. We don't really have the expertise, or we don't have enough hands on deck right now. I'm going to post this to maybe bring in some outside help. And an example of that is we actually just had someone, a participant, create a promotional video for us, which was great. We worked with them, and we didn't have any videographer expertise within our office. So we looked to the platform, had someone come in. She was with FBI, and she did a fantastic job in creating a promotional video for us. So on step 3, this is kind of a neat part of some kind of really cutting edge technology that we've introduced that you might start to see more broadly used throughout the job search space and the federal job search space here in the next year or two. But we really launched this on Open Opportunities first, but we call this our skills engine, or it's a skills matching feature. And so based on the information that you put in step 1 and step 2, so or step 2 of your opportunity, where you put in that descriptor info, all the language about what that opportunity entails. So that now provides you with a list of related skills or recommended skills. So in my opportunity, I had information about business and financial, market research, program management. So now it's offering me these options for related skills. And this is important to select these because these skills that you select here will then be matched, and I'll get into this when I go through the participant side of the demo. It will then match participants based on the information in their profile and the skills that they've put that they have or they want to learn to opportunities. So you'll be able to see when we go into the search side of things that there's a good, better, best match system that will provide applicant or participant opportunity seekers with best, good, or better matches for what they're looking for. So it's pretty neat technology that we've introduced. So that here's where you'll select these if they make sense for your opportunity. So I'll go ahead and select 4, you're limited 5, but say there was something else that I wanted to find, but it wasn't recommended. You can then just search that. Say I'm looking for leadership. So I'll search that and I'll add that one as well. And then here you can put in your related keywords. And again, that just helps in the refining that skills matching feature. So once you reach step 4, again, real simple, first 3 processes, you can then look at a draft of your opportunity and kind of make sure all the information is correct and how you want it to appear. And if all that looks good, you can see here what happens next. Once you submit your opportunity, someone on our team, or if you're posting within a community, that community manager, what we call them, they're kind of the community administrator for their specific community. We'll then review that opportunity, and within, we say 2 business days, but usually you can expect it to be within 1 business day or even a couple of hours. And we'll go ahead and either approve that or reply back with some suggested edits or tips.
And Keenan, there was a question from the audience about how do you accommodate more specialized skills that aren't pre-populated on the list? Can you add different keywords in, et cetera? Yep,
great question. So as I showed you, and sorry, I just went past that now, but you can add further skills tags underneath of that, that first portion where I was selecting from skills. So if skills aren't on that list, it's a pretty extensive list, so most things are on there, but if it's a very specialized skill set that might not be on that list, you can add that in your own personalized skill tags. So great question.
Another question is whether or not there's a place to select whether it's reimbursable versus non-reimbursable.
Yep. So when you select, and again, sorry, I wasn't able to get into the weeds on that. So when you select one-time, recurring, or detail, if you do select detail, you will then have the opportunity to select whether that's a 120-day detail, less than 120 days. You can specify your time frame, and then you'll also be able to select whether that's reimbursable or non-reimbursable. So really, all of that pertinent information that you really need to have on both ends as a creator and someone looking for an opportunity, all of that information can be selected and will show up. And I'll go ahead and again show you those on when we get to the participant side of things, the search side.
And Keenan, there was another question about, does the opportunity bypass the hiring process and contract solicitation? And just as a reminder, Keenan's talking about rotations and details. So these are temporary assignments where they're going back to their home agency afterwards, so that there is not a hiring process involved in this. And Keenan, you want to talk a little bit more about that?
Yeah, that's correct. Again, these are either short time or recurring, which again are a lot more simple because there's generally not any sort of MOUs between agencies or paperwork filled out. But again, that can be, we do recommend for folks looking for some sort of paperwork between agencies on the recurring or the shorter term opportunities or the one time. A lot of folks will use an SF-182 since this is is very training oriented. And so folks will fill out an SF-182 to participate in opportunities. It's not a requirement. And then on the detail side of things, a lot of that really depends on the agencies. And again, you'll work that out with the two agencies involved, if it's two separate agencies in the detail process, and how you go about that. So some agencies submit MOUs. We do offer a draft MOU in our help section that can be utilized, as well as some other optional paperwork. And that's something too, since Tracy might be able to touch on a little bit more, since she runs a detail program for her community. All right. So once you have your opportunity submitted, again, this is what it will look like. And it's still awaiting approval. Now I'm going to jump back to the dashboard, and I'm just going to go, I have the same exact opportunity, one that's open and one that was just submitted. So same opportunity, but this one has been approved, theoretically speaking, since this is our test environment. So once it's open, it's ready to go. You are now ready to accept applicants. So applicants apply as you can see. You can, if this individual applied, I can click on view profile. And this will look a little different depending on whether you had a one-time opportunity or a detail. Detail, we usually have a lot more information. There's a resume, a statement of interest, which is more optional in the one-time recurrent. So I can look at this person's profile, see some past opportunities they participated in, and then I can decide if I want to select or not select them. If I want to select, I will click select, and then that would move them up into my selected applicants list. If I don't select them, that would move them into a not selected applicants, and no one else other than the opportunity creator or administrator can see this. So folks won't be able to see everyone who has been who hasn't been selected. And then once you have your candidates selected, an email will be sent to them letting them know. And I should also note that you will receive, as an opportunity poster or creator, you will receive an email letting you know that people have applied to your opportunity. So every time there's an applicant, you'll be notified via email that there's an applicant. And so yeah, now that you have them selected, you're ready to go. You will work with that individual in whichever manner you see fit. We have a discussion board down here that folks utilize, but a lot of it's done outside of the platform, either via email or phone call or whatever that might be, to work with that individual to complete that assignment.
Keenan, there is another question about what do the badges mean? Yep.
I will get into that just shortly as well, once I get into the profile piece of that. So I will jump there right now, actually, just for time's sake. But that is the fairly simple process of creating an opportunity. And now we'll kind of get into the search side of things and how you'll participate if you're looking to apply to an opportunity. So now whether you're on your profile, any page, there will always be this search feature up to the right. So if you click on that, again, you log into the platform, come to the platform, and now I'm looking for opportunities, or I'm looking for people to connect with, or communities. So if you click on the communities tab, and again, just for sake of time, I won't jump into this just yet, but you can search for the various communities that are out there, as well as people that you might want to search for, that maybe you're within your organization, or you have some folks that you know you want to connect with. You can do that via this search feature. And so on the search feature, you can find opportunities a number of ways. So you can search by keywords here in this search filter. So if you know you're looking for a specific type of opportunity based on a skill set or a career field, you can search that way. We also have this right rail of filters. So as I mentioned earlier, based on what information is included in your profile, this will match you to those opportunities based on the information that is included in that opportunity. So again, you see I have, just in our test environment, 2 best matches, 4 better matches, and 5 good matches. And you can see this too as well with this blue little track bar as the best match. Those will appear at the top of my search. So as you scroll down, you can see now we're into the good match. And then once you get to a certain level, they're not necessarily matched. Now that doesn't mean they're not an opportunity you might want to look into or apply to. That just means based on what was included in your profile and what was included in the opportunity posting, that will just generally speaking be the best matches for you. So if you're looking around, you might say you want to search as well, narrow your search to a one-time, recurring, or detail. So I'll click on detail just so you can see. So now you can delineate whether you want full-time, part-time. There's even pay scale involved and all the things you need to know, virtual, series. So a little bit more weight behind the detail. If you select recurring or one-time, you don't have as many of those things to select for. But now you can see that the opportunities that are in your search feature will now be recurring opportunities. So say I'm interested in this one, you can then click on that.
There was a question about how do you create, or do you have to create a profile and a biography?
So you don't, it's not a requirement. It's not required to create a profile or even include a picture or biography. That's all optional. We recognize that not everybody wants to do that. But if you are looking to have those opportunities kind of catered to the good, better, best match system to show those for you, then you will have to have a biography, because without any information, those won't be posted. But if you just want to come on and search for opportunities and apply to opportunities, you don't have to have a profile. You can work outside of the platform and email the creator or talk with them about the skills you have. And that's where a lot of the kind of interviews or it's very much less structured. And it might be, again, depending if it's a detail, it might be more structured. And there are things that are required in the detail portion, such as resumes and statement of interest. But a lot of times you're working with that opportunity creator or poster outside of the platform. And so when you click on this, you can see, sorry, was there another question?
Sorry, Keenan, there's another question about, is there cost involved? And just to reiterate, there's no cost to use the system as it is. And there was another question from someone about, is it intended for people who already have the skills, or intended also for people who can be used to stretch one's skill set? And so that's correct. It can be used for both, where they already have the skills and it's a stretch and they're learning some new things as well.
That's correct, exactly. And again, it kind of goes back to the three different types of opportunities. Details, generally speaking, have more stipulations or requirements based on what that agency is looking for in posting. Generally, they're looking for a certain GS level or at least a certain skill set to come in, whereas the one-time or recurring opportunities are exactly, a lot of the times they can be used as stretch assignments or experiential learning. And a lot of the times, as you can see with this one, this says 6+ personnel needed. So you might have multiple people coming in and working and providing even just pieces of a project. So you might have someone who has data analytics skills, someone who's looking to be a web developer, someone who's good at content writing, whatever the skill or even skill you're looking to develop is, it's a great way to kind of come together and collaborate as a team. And so you can see, again, this looks exactly like what the opportunity creator created, but now you're just looking at this from the applicant perspective. And I will point out, I mentioned earlier that you can look at your saved searches. So by clicking this here, you would then save that to your profile or dashboard, excuse me. So then you can look at that later if you wanted to come back to that. And you can also share this. Clicking this will allow you to share it with a colleague, a friend, supervisor, whatever that might be. And then simply click apply. Again, there'll be a little bit more information on the detail side of things. You'll have to submit a resume and statement of interest and a little bit more information. Here, as long as you check mark that you have your supervisor's approval, that you're a federal employee, and all of these things are updated, you are good to go. You can see I don't even have my profile updated in the test environment. And so it's not a requirement. You can still apply. It might flash yellow. That's just saying if you want, optional, but recommended. And then once you hit yes, submit my name, that email will then go to the opportunity creator, and then you would wait to hear from them to see if you'll be selected. And I will show you real quick as well. That's pretty much the gist of the search. I know we're running short on time, but since we have another minute or two, this is what your profile will look like. And the question about badges. So badges are earned based on opportunities that you've participated in. You might be familiar with digital badging, or maybe not. It's kind of popular in a lot of learning environments, educational platforms, whatever that might be. So based on opportunities that you create and participate in, you can earn these badges. And there's other various badges you earn for being a community manager and things like that. And I will note that we also have certificates that opportunity creators can send to opportunity participants, and those participants can then print out or save digitally that verifies that they have participated in that opportunity and that they've done a certain amount of hours of working towards the skill set or whatever that might be. And then that can be signed off by both the opportunity creator, and if it's part of a community, that community manager or administrator as well. So that way you do have something that's tangible and that you can maybe even include on a resume showing that you've done 8 hours of work in content writing or whatever that might be. So, and then you can see you'll have your biography. What's in my test environment here is a little bit skimpy, but that's generally what the profile looks like. So I know that was a lot of information over a real quick period of time, but for the sake of time, we had to run through that very quickly. So yeah, any other questions before I hand it over to Tracy?
There was one question that came up about, is there any kind of monitoring for equal opportunity access for the opportunities as far as assuring equal access? And I just want to reemphasize that there's no hiring occurring with the open opportunities. So it's more of an informal process rather than a formal USAJOBS opportunity, but I'll turn it over to you, Keenan.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Because this is, this aren't full-fledged jobs being posted onto USAJOBS. These are training and development opportunities. And so that because of that, there isn't really any monitoring of that going on. Other questions?
I think there's some questions about the length of profile and things like that, but we will make sure that the contact information is shared so that you can ask more questions, and I will make sure that we get all the chat answers chat questions rather answered. So I'm just going to reshare, just making sure that that is actually working. And can everyone see the slides again? Oops.
Yes.
Okay. So I'm just going to continue for here and introduce. So here is just real quick. Here is the website, and you have the slides, and I'll resend all the slides out as well. Keenan's contact information and for other a general email address as well for other questions. And there's a link also to the help section, which has a lot of useful information. So now we're going to actually move on to a case example. So someone who's actually used open opportunities for their rotation program. So Tracy of Levstik is going to be presenting. She's the Leadership Program Development Specialist in the Office of Human Capital Services at NOAA. I'm going to let folks be able to read her presentation here and then turn it over to her bio here, and then turn it over to Tracy so she'll have the rest of the time to present since we're a little short on time. So welcome, Tracy. Thanks so much.
Well, thank you, and Keenan for inviting me to speak today. I'm really thrilled to share what NOAA has done with using open opportunities. We're an agency, a bureau of the Department of Commerce, and we had our own internal program that we started in NOAA in 2003. And so we have, almost 20 years of experience running various internal forms of developmental assignment programs, but we decided to really take our program to the next level, and we launched our program with Open Opportunities. It's called NOAA's Lantern on February 16th of 2021. So we're Open Opportunities' most recent federal custom platform client. We've partnered together for the last year with Keenan and his group to develop a custom platform that is internal to NOAA. So our opportunities are created within NOAA. They're shared just with the NOAA Lantern community. So it's a closed community that's hosted on the Open Opportunities site. The purpose of our platform and our program is to enhance professional growth, to allow employees to build on their existing knowledge, skills, and abilities, as well as learn new skills and grow their network, explore other parts of the organization. And for offices, it's a chance for them to accomplish the mission of their office with extra human power. So our program timeline, as I mentioned previously, our program internal platform, IT part of it, was forced to sunset in January of 2020. It was internally managed, and the IT was 20 years old and hadn't really been updated. So we were doing a lot of things manually on an Excel spreadsheet, as you all can imagine. We had gotten up with the popularity of the program to 255 opportunities and about that number of applicants. And each applicant could apply for 3 opportunities. So you can imagine the Excel spreadsheet and the chaos that caused in trying to manage that process. So we began to do market research, and we quickly determined that partnering with Open Opportunities, it would be the premier Cadillac way to advance our program. And our initial cost, again, for a custom platform was $100,000. We worked really hard to gain leadership buy-in, which wasn't terribly difficult because the agency recognized the value. It was an incredibly popular employee development program, and our internal IT had literally collapsed. So it was really a no option for us. So we built a team of internal stakeholders to assist with our platform design. We developed a statement of work and defined our requirements. And we worked really hard on promoting the positives of the new platform in terms of culture change. So as Keenan mentioned, those additional opportunity types, right? The one-time and the recurring are really neat and something that we hadn't done through our just traditional details. Instead of me doing everything on an Excel spreadsheet, our offices got more control. So each of our line offices has a designated coordinator that goes into the platform daily, views and approves opportunities, and then I serve as the overarching community manager. We have a streamlined approval process, and we are requiring SF52s for any detail that's 30 days in length or greater that's undertaken through the platform, which is a change for us. And what's great about that is it allows employees to have proof in their EOPF that they've completed the detail. We went through a process of changing our name. Before we joined Open Ops, we were NRAP, the No Rotational Assignment Program. And we did change our name to Lantern, which stands for Leveraging Abilities, Needs, Talents, Energies, and Resources Network. We've spent a lot of time doing marketing and branding and communications, which is still underway because our platform's just over 2 months old. So we're still a neophyte in the new platform realm. So Kim, if you go to the next slide. So Kim asked me to share what are my lessons learned, right, from starting a program. I would start by saying trust in and commit to the process. The Open Ops team is consummate professional project management experts. Trust their process. Initially, they told me we need to meet 3 times a week for about 9 months. And I said, oh, that's way too much. And we needed 3 times a week for 9 months. And they led us through each step and were really patient with us as we worked through everything. So that was great to just trust and commit to their process. I would encourage you to reach out to other Open Ops clients. We partnered a lot with the Department of Interior, who was the Open Opportunities custom platform client before us. We're still really close with their team. How did they do training? How are they doing communications and branding and marketing? And don't be afraid to ask for additional resources. You know, we had a team of close to 25 people within NOAA working on this for a year, but we realized we didn't have communications, marketing, or branding experts on our team, right? And we really needed that to get the program launched. So we asked for those additional resources and brought on detailees that specified in that area. We did a soft launch prior to our full launch, and that's something that OpenOps recommended, so that the first time someone goes into the platform, it's not empty, right? So by doing that soft launch, we had about 30 opportunities in there that people could react to, and they wanted to set up their search filters, and they wanted, you know, they were already in the system. It wasn't empty. And again, get that marketing, comms, and branding on board early, so you're really advertising your platform. Again, working with the Open Opportunities team is an absolutely amazing experience. I have nothing bad to say. They're best project management, excellent customer service. They're subject matter experts, super professional and friendly. I actually wrote their group a poem, which I'm not a poem person, but that's how we ended our year of working together, was with poetry. So nothing but good things to say. Next slide, Kim, please. So these are the community management lessons learned. Define your maintenance team early. Who's going to be in the system and touching it daily, right? So for each of our offices and for myself, we have a backup. I think that's really important in these COVID times, right? So if the National Ocean Service Coordinator is out unexpectedly, she's got a backup who will go into the system and approve her ops, and I can as well. We meet weekly still, our internal maintenance team. We attend monthly meetings with OpenOps. They have a wonderful community managers forum that we attend their activities. Continue to market and advertise and build your stakeholders, and brainstorm ways to facilitate that continued engagement with the community. How are you going to keep drawing people to the program? We have a really robust internal website. We keep that current and up to date. And one thing I'm really proud of that we did is we recorded 5 mini training segments at each step of the process. So it explains to someone, what is Lantern, right? And the next section is, how do I log in? The next section is, how do I create an opportunity? How do I apply? And then how do I select someone and close out my opportunity? So you can go and just hear that really short 10-minute training segment that's specific to the Lantern community. We also offer live office hour sessions with subject matter experts. We've had about 7 of those to date since we launched 2 months ago. And we have a centralized program email listserv, which is helpful. Next slide, Kim. So I wanted to ask if you could type in the chat what ideas you would suggest for us for continued recruitment. How do we keep drawing people back to the site? And that's one thing we're working on actively. We've got right now about 40 live opportunities in the system. And how do we keep pulling people in to look at those, apply for those, and view those? So if you type in your answers into chat, Kim, we could go on to the next slide, give people an opportunity to chat those in. And I'm happy to answer any questions. I've actually typed in my contact information, I believe, if I didn't post it, I will, so that you can reach out to me. I'm happy to share information about our experience with OpenOps and why we chose to go this route. But we're basically, it was $100,000 for the initial investment, and then we will spend $15,000 a year on kind of maintenance and upkeep of our platform site. But there's just so much good to say about OpenOps, and we were getting lots of great feedback from our users about having opportunities this way. One thing I will share is we're using the platform for shadows. For one-time opportunities. So if you're a leader in your organization, or you can approach your leader and say, I'm going to set up a one-time shadow, and people can apply to do that. We're doing them virtually, either 4 hours or 8 hours. And we recommend you start with a little coffee talk to talk to your shadowee about why they wanted to shadow you and who they are. And then you explain your agenda for what your day is going to look like, and then do a coffee talk at the end with them about what they learned. And so it's great that you can kind of herd all of your cats into this one platform system, and really have this robust employee development tool. So I'm happy to answer any questions. Kim, I know we're slightly over.
Yes, I just wanted to note a couple of things that people have noticed. They've said mention it at all hands meetings, put in a blurb in agency newsletters, note it on LinkedIn, put some kind of an announcement at Open Opportunities saying you're recruiting new people. Reach out to communication liaisons and other agencies and modes to spread the word, perhaps send out messages to other listservs that are related to or might be of have interest in this program. So there are lots of great suggestions. Thanks so much for everything you put in. Just to highlight, there was a lot of interest in this question during Keenan's presentation, and I've asked the same question as well. Just what are things that you consider when choosing participants for the program, and just making sure everything is equitable. So
yes, so I think what's great about the platform is it's available first to all of our employees. NOAA is a very geographically dispersed agency. We've got people in all 50 states, on ships sailing around the world. Everyone can apply. Right now, every single opportunity is virtual, which I love. So if you're in Seattle and you really are, our headquarters is in Silver Spring, and you want to do an assignment, you can with headquarters without having to leave your family and your situation to do that, which is great. We encourage everyone who is a opportunity host to carefully review the information submitted, and you can make a determination based off the submitted material, or you can conduct interviews outside. We recommend if you interview one person, you interview everybody to give them a fair shot at it. And then ultimately you make the decision for who is going to fit the need the best. But there's so much flexibility in the system and the platform. That's what I really love. That, you know, for me, I can list something. I've got 4 opportunities going for myself right now. 3 have been filled. So I've got 3 people working with me. It's great if you create the platform, then you can chunk off your work and bring in lots of people to do work with you. So all 3 opportunities are going great. I have a 1-time, 2 recurring, and 1 part-time detailee. So it's a really great system.
fantastic. Thank you so much, Tracy, and thank you, Keenan.